we do not accept that a majority of seats at a devolved assembly is a mandate to break up the wider state, to break up the United Kingdom. We don't accept that. Now, we have laid out our position in an article which appeared this week on our website, saying Holyrood cannot deliver Indy Ref 2 mandate. And we sum up why that is, and we sum up what a proper mandate would be. We say that only a vote in the Union Parliament, which is to say Westminster, only a vote for that Parliament can potentially deliver a mandate for a second referendum to be held to break up the United Kingdom. Because the United Kingdom is a precious inheritance. It's the great work of time. It cannot just be broken up easily. You have to find ways to make it very, very difficult to break it up. So we base our position upon the following four fundamentals. One, the United Kingdom is one big country. One big country is the United Kingdom. That it's come together through time, through hundreds of years, since at least the Union of the Crowns in 1603, and especially since the Parliamentary Union of 1707, it has developed into one big country. Of course, it's got smaller countries which are part of it, but it is one big country. And as such, it is our home, and we do not want to see it broken up. And we will do whatever it takes to keep it together. So that's fundamental number one. The UK is one big country. Fundamental two, it is not for Scotland alone to decide to break up our one big country and effectively destroy it. It's not for Scotland alone to do that, because those hundreds of years have created millions of people who are invested in keeping the United Kingdom as one big country. So it's not for Scotland alone to do it. That's why it cannot be done through a devolved assembly. It has to be done to find a mandate for a second referendum. It has to be done at the level of the Union Parliament, the Parliament that represents all of these millions and millions of people. Fundamental number three, the Union Parliament has a mandate for unity right now. And so if you were looking for a mandate for separation, you have to find it at that Union Parliament. How does the mandate for unity work? We've said it before, and we will keep saying it. Every single time we here in Scotland or Wales or England or Northern Ireland go to the polls and elect a candidate to sit in Westminster, regardless of what party that candidate represents, then when that candidate is elected, they are giving a mandate to that Parliament to govern on behalf of all the United Kingdom. And see, Sinn Féin understand that very well. That's why they don't send their people to Westminster. They attempt to disarm the moral authority of the Parliament by not sending their candidates. But so long as we vote for candidates to sit there, and so long as those candidates sit there, then the 650 of them in there, give or take the Sinn Féiners, all of these people represent a mandate for the unity of the United Kingdom. They are what are keeping the United Kingdom together. So if you want to break that up, your mandate has to be found at that level. And the fourth fundamental is, of course, we understand the correct nature of devolution. Holyrood, for all the pretensions of the Scottish National Party, is not an equal body to Westminster. It is an arm of Westminster. It was created by the Union Parliament, and it is in a vertical relationship with it, not a horizontal relationship with it. So you can only believe that a majority of seats won at Holyrood is a mandate to demand another vote to break up the United Kingdom if you believe the mistaken notions that the United Kingdom itself is not a nation, that the Union Parliament has no democratic legitimacy, nor does it have a duty and responsibility to all the other people of the United Kingdom, which has been developed over hundreds of years. And you also would have to believe that Holyrood is somehow equal to the British Parliament from which it is derived. Well, all of those propositions are false. All of them are false, yet we never hear the media pointing those things out. And to be frank with you, many of our members of Parliament don't even know the correct constitutional realities, which we're just articulating to you right now. So, if you want to seek a mandate to maintain the United Kingdom, you do that at the Union Parliament. And if you want to seek a mandate to break up the United Kingdom, you also have to find that at the Union Parliament. So what would be a sufficient mandate for the SNP to demand a second independence referendum? It would be this. It would be this. The SNP and any other group would have to do it at the level of the United Kingdom Parliament during a United Kingdom general election. In that general election, they would have to stand as openly avowed abstentionists. In that general election, they would have to win a majority of the UK parliamentary seats in Scotland. And fourthly, they would have to win a majority of the entire electorate of Scotland. And if they could do those four things, then we could accept that there was sufficient demand for a second independence referendum. But until, God forbid, such a thing were to happen, there should be no second independence referendum. And we need politicians who will stand up and tell this very straightforwardly to Nicola Sturgeon and the rest of them, and who will thereby help to change the frame to get us out of this particular path that we have stepped badly upon. So that's the mandate for unity and the mandate for separation. And you can check that if you can put the link up there to that in the comments as well. That's the first article on our site, which is aforceforgood.uk. That was published this week. And please put this about, because this has the power to change the frame entirely. And furthermore, this is correct constitutionally. And it's correct morally, because people will say to us, Alistair, I live in England. I don't want to see the United Kingdom broken up. Yeah, this is how we can defend it. And it's also correct in terms of popularity, because if you look at the statistics, which you'll see in the article, turnout for Westminster general elections in Scotland is way higher than the turnout for Holyrood assembly elections, way higher. And so it makes sense that if you're trying to break up the United Kingdom, you should be doing it, attempting to do it at not the Scottish Assembly level, but at the British Union Parliament level. In fact, if we look at the last 5 general election turnouts in Scotland, the average is 66% of the electorate. And if we look at the last 5 of the Holyrood turnout elections, the average turnout is a paltry 53%, barely over half the electorate. But the electorate is not really engaged at Holyrood elections, but it is certainly engaged at the British level.